Terrorizing turkeys, captivating camels, pitiful presents. Who's ready for some news? What's up, everyone? My name is Akshat.
And my name is Vineet. In this podcast, we'll provide you with some entertaining stories to lighten up your day.
So sit back, stand up, lay down, take a bow as we share some news. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Some News. I am here with my co-host, Vineet.
That's me.
And are you excited for another episode today?
I am. I gotta say, after doing the first 2 episodes, I feel better. I feel very good.
Yeah, I'm like super fired up. I think I got some great stories to share with you today, and also with our listeners that everyone's going to have like a fun time with. So the first story that I have is one that you might have already seen, roaming social media. It's been kind of all over the place. I saw it first pop up on my Facebook feed. I saw it pop up on, where else did I see it? Reddit. So a couple of different places where I saw this coming up. And I'm just going to, give you a little bit of a teaser and see if you've already come across it. If not, it'd be even greater that, that you haven't even heard about it. Okay. So it was on a Facebook post where the Georgia Police Department or Sheriff's Department was making a list of like their most wanted list in Georgia. Right. Okay. So have you heard the story yet?
Georgia's Most Wanted. No, I have not.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So it was basically Georgia's Most Wanted. They had made a list of basically all the criminals that have outstanding warrants and things like that, and people that they are looking for. And it was basically a post where they're just saying like, hey, look, these 5 guys are like our most wanted. If you have any information on them, let us know so we can go do our job, basically. Okay. So that's not the funny part. That's not anything like that. What actually happened next was a guy commented. So people were commenting, and of course they asked for tips and things like that. So what do you think this guy commented?
This is some random guy who made a comment?
Yeah, just a random guy.
I'm in your top 5.
Okay, so that's very close. Okay. So what he basically commented was, how about me? Because he was not listed in the top 5. So he's like, how about me? So the department responded back, you are correct. You have 2 warrants. We are on the way.
Was this an ongoing conversation?
So he basically commented Wednesday night. Thursday, the police or sheriff's department commented back saying, yes, you are right. You have 2 warrants. We're on your way. And then basically, they went in and they arrested him. And it gets even funnier because then the sheriff's department, after arresting him, took a picture of him. Okay. And it shared a screenshot with the exchange. We appreciate you for your assistance in your capture.
Wow. Oh, man. I'm sure this guy felt bad. He's like, wait, why am I not in the top 5? He just really wanted that attention. But I mean, at that point, you can't even mean that most wanted if you've already been got, You can't get got it if you already got it.
That was so funny, though. He's just like, oh, what about me? And they're like, you're right. We're on the way. Don't worry, dude. We'll get you. We'll arrest you. We'll put you in jail. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. Again, the department thanked its fugitive unit for efficiently arresting him. He had 2 warrants out for his arrest. But yeah, it was a very quick and simple story, but it was just, I found it super funny that like the guy was so desperate for attention that he was willing to get himself arrested.
What if this was all just a big scheme by the police department of being like, you know what, we're going to list like 5 criminals, but one of the top 5, we're not even going to put him in there. And we're just going to hope that he gets upset enough to be like, wait, why am I not on this list?
Well, I will say,
then they show up.
They have a picture of the actual top 5 that they had posted.
Yeah.
I will say a lot of their crimes seem to be more serious than this dude's. So it kind of makes sense why he wasn't in the top 5.
All I'm saying is this could be a great way to capture super villains. Just don't put them in the top 5. They'll get upset and then
their ego gets hurt and they automatically out themselves. So yeah, that's the quick and easy story that we had. The next story that I have, moving on from one criminal to another, we have a menacing gang that has been taking over a New England city. It's basically one guy, couple of females, and they've just been terrorizing this town left and right.
But you said one guy and a couple of females?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they've been saying, these guys have been terrorizing the town. They don't let you go out of your house, according to one resident. The leader of the gang, his name is Kevin.
Okay. I don't know. It just seems like a very non-threatening name.
Well, it gets even more non-threatening, which is the fact that this gang is a group of turkeys.
What?
So
what happened? Here I am picturing like a big tough gang, one guy, all girls. That was also a bit weird to picture in my mind. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then you said the guy's name is Kevin. I'm like, okay, this guy seems like a loser. Just not really a tough guy name, Kevin. And now you tell me the turkeys.
Yes. So
wow.
It's 5 turkeys. They spend a lot of time in particular on the lawn of a woman named Megan. And basically the male leader of the group is called Kevin. He is the bad egg amongst the otherwise all female turkey crew. They also have names, by the way: Gladys, Esther, Monica, and Patricia.
These are very old names, all of them.
Yeah. So the quote is, "The women are more mellow and not so territorial, but I think he kind of amps them up to get them going to chase people." They said there's multiple videos showing Kevin lurking near the door of her home or car. They don't let you out of your house. That's what they're saying. But basically, they're up at 6 a.m. in my lawn and they start chasing us, trying to pop the tires. It's wild. And then they called in this dude named David. He's a turkey expert with the so-called state's wildlife department. And he told the news that these kind of problems arise when turkeys become too habituated to humans. Typically, this happens due to people feeding them directly or the turkeys free-loading off bird feeders intended for other birds. And he says, yeah, they're just kind of acting out. And that, you running away fuels the problem because then they begin to see you as subdominant to them. So people are getting domed by turkeys. In this case.
Oh man, here I was thinking that it was like, Thanksgiving happened. These turkeys are mad. Their friends' families got eaten. But no, this is just like a acting out type thing.
Yeah, they're just acting out. But fear not, the turkey expert has given us advice on how to protect ourselves. He recommends carrying an umbrella and opening it in front of you to frighten off the birds.
Like a peacock type thing.
Yeah, I did not know turkeys were afraid of umbrellas. But yeah, that's apparently how you do it. Wow. In the final bit of news for this article, the person who they interviewed, she says she's taking the situation in stride and has even developed some affection to Kevin and company. It's like they grow on you a little bit.
Kevin and company. What's the name of your gang? We're Kevin and company. Oh, man.
And then the last story that I have for you today, moving on from one animal news to another, or maybe not, who knows what this news is. I don't want to give away too much.
Okay.
But basically, like we had talked about in one of our previous episodes, the World Cup is going on, right?
Right. Kenny.
Kenny exactly. Psychic Kenny. So it's happening in Qatar right now. And right now also, there's an alternate World Cup that's going on in Qatar.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a beauty contest.
Oh, okay, so that's not the World Cup, but
it's like quote unquote World Cup. It's like kind of being like tongue in cheek. It's another type of World Cup. But it's basically a beauty contest. So, it's a lot of like 200,000 currency is up for grabs. So the Qatari riyals, or about $55,000 for whoever wins. So what kind of pageant do you think this is? Do you think these are like local soccer players? What do you think this is? What kind of people are participating, or what is participating?
Oh, didn't you say it's a beauty pageant?
Yeah.
Like a Miss America type thing?
No, not exactly. It's more like Miss Qatar, but yeah, kind of.
Yeah, right. So like Miss Qatar. Like, why? I don't know why this would be called the World Cup. I mean, See, now that you've given all these clues, I feel like it's animals competing to see who's the prettiest or something like that.
Well, I think I gave away too much in the beginning, but basically, this is a beauty pageant for camels.
I mean, I guess if a lot of people have camels.
Yeah, so it's basically I love the way this article starts out. Like all good beauty pageant contestants, Nazaz displayed not only dazzling beauty, but also poise and grace. She batted her eyelashes and flashed a toothy smile for the television cameras at the Maizan World Cup, a pageant held in the Qatari desert about 15 miles away from Doha and soccer's World Cup. Nazaz, mind you, is a camel.
Wow, I could just picture a camel like winking with its, eyelashes and then just giving you a smile. Like, how you doing?
Yeah, so they basically said this is like the Westminster Dog Show crossed with Miss America pageant, except for camels. So they say Nazaz is a majestic, light-haired creature that overcame several preliminary rounds and hundreds of other camels to win the pageant on Friday.
Wow.
So by the way, this is not like 5 camels. This is like hundreds.
I mean, I would think if the price is 55,000, equivalent to 55,000 US dollars, I would think there's a lot of camels involved.
Oh,
especially
yeah.
If it's a place where you can have a camel like we're in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
If we had a camel contest, I don't know how many people would show up. I don't know how many camels would show up.
But yeah, this is like Qatar, so it's a desert, so I'm sure a lot of camels are there already. So the winning camel was one of 15 that competed for the crown. So I guess they had like preliminary rounds that narrowed it down to like the finalists.
Yep.
They were parading by fans who were wearing bejeweled collars and draped with strings of gemstones. Okay, so this
there are more fans for this event?
Oh yeah, there's fans, and I was also going to say this camel's more blinged out than I am.
Wow.
In terms of what they're wearing. The owner of the camel that won basically said, I thought our camel was better than Ronaldo and Messi.
Do you have pictures of this?
There's like a little video I can send it to you.
Maybe we can share it in our Instagram.
Yeah, we can share it definitely across our Instagram, the link for the video. But yeah, they were saying that these events are regularly held throughout the Middle East, where people have like had camels for generations. But this is not the crazy part. So the best thing that happens is a little bit further down in the actual article.
Okay.
So they talk about how like these are like purebred camels, only female camels allowed.
Okay, that's a bit sexist, but that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know why the male camels can't compete. That's not fair. But I guess maybe because the first round eliminates the male camels, unless you have a very sick sense of humor. So the first round is a milking competition, with the prize going to the camel that produces the most milk.
Well, in that case, yeah, I think you are correct. The males would automatically be taken out of that round.
This is where it gets, in my opinion, this is where it gets funny. It says, make no mistake, this is a serious contest. A doctor is on staff to make sure the animals don't use fillers or Botox to make themselves look more beautiful.
I've never heard of camels using Botox, yo. Unreal.
I also love how they make it seem like the camel's the one going to get Botox and like getting fillers. It's not like the owner doing it to them. Yeah. It's just the camels going to like the beauty parlor and getting it done. Wow. They said last December, dozens of camels were disqualified from another festival for cosmetic enhancements. But yeah, there's actually like a lot of money in this. Like the winner gets, winner, runner-up, and third place all get trophies. The winner gets $55,000. The camel that produces the most milk gets 15,000 riyal, like the Qatari currency.
Yeah.
I don't know what the exchange rate is, but basically that's how much they're getting.
Okay.
And the guy said, like, yeah, I've been with camels and their contests since I was a child. Camels were there before planes and cars. They're called the ships of the desert. Like after modern vehicles, the camel became less popular, but it's a big part of our culture. So I guess, anybody listening, if you're in Qatar, like, attending the World Cup and you got some free time on your hands, just go check out a local camel beauty pageant and see if, or if you had tickets to like the World Cup, but it's like a very boring match. It's like it's not one of your favorite teams or anything playing. Go check out this other World Cup that's happening. It's only about 10, 15 miles away, so you're pretty close to it. Go check out some of these beauty pageants. You never know. You'll get to maybe taste some of the milk. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I had for today in terms of the top 3 articles for the week. With that being said, I think now's the time we can take a quick little break, and then we can come right on back with our main event for tonight. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back.
Yep. Always gotta love those little breaks where we just do nothing in between.
Always it's just feeling. It's a good little time off, about that a good 10 seconds that we get to basically reset.
Oh yeah. All right. So yeah, I do have a couple of stories for us today. So as we know that Christmas is coming up in a couple of weeks, and you may still be out there doing some holiday shopping for your friends, loved ones, or those people you feel obligated to get a gift for because they got you a gift.
Yeah, like a white elephant.
There we go. Something like that. So I have a couple of stories of worst Christmas presents that people have gotten.
Oh man. Okay. I'm buckling in, getting ready for this emotional roller coaster that we're about to go on.
Well, I don't know how many emotions will be involved, but I guess at some parts there were tears. People held back tears.
Okay.
But yeah. So do you remember on our first podcast, we talked about the grandma story where they went to Radio Shack?
Oh, yeah. Where they had a fight over like a calculator?
Yeah, fought over a $5 calculator. So I think this was the kid.
Oh, snap. Okay.
This was the kid.
We get to see the other side.
So all these stories are from Reddit, by the way.
Okay.
So this guy replied, my worst Christmas was when I was in the 2nd grade. I got office supplies.
Oh, man.
It was the class gift exchange. Imagine being a kid, right? Everyone opening up dolls, toys, cars, glitter pens, I don't know, flip phones, whatever it is. And then you're there. Okay, whatever it is. And you're there. Calculator in one hand, tape dispenser on the other hand, and a stapler right in front of you.
My guess is, so it's a classroom gift exchange, right? So that means another student gave it to him.
Yeah.
So my guess is that student is the one whose grandma fought for the calculator. She gave it to him, and he's like, I don't want this. I'm just going to take it to my school's gift exchange and pass it off to some other kid.
Oh, man. Can you imagine? But that story actually goes on, and we can actually find out what happened. So apparently, like I said, like you mentioned, this was a class gift exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy said the girl who drew my name was in the hospital a lot, and her parents just grabbed things from the gift shop. No teddy bear for some reason. No teddy bear, no balloons. Just office supplies.
Also, what kind of hospital has office supplies in the gift shop?
I don't know.
Why is that their stuff? They don't have a get well soon card or a teddy bear. They have nah, my kid's in a coma. You know what he's going to want when he wakes up? He's going to want a calculator and a stapler.
Well, maybe there are people at the hospital I'm missing work for this, or I'm missing school. I need to get some work done. So there's a mini office supply store in there. And for some reason, that was the only thing open. But yeah, imagine being a 2nd grader and getting those office supplies. What are you going to do with that?
Honestly, I would just give it to the teacher. Be like, here, you're going to use this more than I am.
So this kid ended up giving everything to his mom because she was a teacher.
Oh, see?
So you were pretty much right there.
That was close. Yeah.
So that brings us to the conclusion of our first story. And the trauma this 2nd grader went through by getting office supplies while everyone else got actual toys.
It'd be even worse, if he was the kid who brought in a really nice gift.
Oh, for sure.
Imagine he's one of the kids who brought in at that age, a 64 pack of crayons.
Oh,
or
dude,
something like that.
That was it. If you had a 64 pack of crayons, and some of those boxes, you remember they had sharpeners?
Yes.
On the side?
On the side where you can make your crayon more sharp to draw with it. I remember that. Dude, so imagine he brought that in. Imagine he's I'm going to be the coolest person in class because I'm giving the best gift. He gives that, people love it, and then he gets a stapler, a calculator, and tape.
I'll be like, yo, what happened?
The dude's like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never participating in the classroom exchange ever again.
So that was one story about a kid in the 2nd grade. This next person, also in first or second grade, he said he was 8 or 9 years old at the time when he got this present. So he really wanted those Furby things, like those Furbies toys. I don't know. They were really they were really popular back in the day, right? Everyone kind of wanted it, so he asked for it for Christmas. So he said, "Come Christmas, my aunt is all proud to give me this present." Right, hyping me up that it's something that I really wanted. Okay.
Okay.
And then he opens it up. It's a keychain.
What?
Yeah, it was a Furby keychain. It was a keychain with a picture of a Furby on it, and that's what his aunt got him.
Okay, and he said, I guess she listened to a certain degree, like she heard the Furby part. And then she's like,
that was it.
I guess he just loves anything with Furbies. So let me get him a keychain.
I mean, I guess. So he said, I don't remember, but I was told my face fell when I first saw it.
Yeah,
but
makes sense.
Like everyone's parents raises them, I would say for the most part, you're kind of always told when receiving gifts, especially when you're opening gifts in front of someone else, to kind of, be nice about it, right? Like, be like, oh, thank you so much. So he said, though I was not raised to complain about receiving gifts, when she asked me, do you like it? I forcefully, but horribly smiled and said, yes, I like it very much. I'm very surprised.
You know what this reminds me? You remember that TikTok that was like, or that Vine or whatever that was trending a very long time ago where a kid got an avocado? And then he's just like, an avocado. Thanks.
Yes. I very vaguely remember that.
So it just reminds me of that, where the kid's just like, a keychain. Thanks. I like it a lot. Like that kind of thing. He's just like painfully trying to drive it home. It's just like, I want to move on with my life, please.
So this kid did something, I guess, almost similar. He's like, he really tried to drive home this point of, oh, I love this keychain so much. He took it and put it on his jacket zipper to be like, oh yeah, I love it so much. And but then luckily turned out it was all a joke. His aunt actually did get him a real Furby doll. Okay. And awesome. He immediately broke down and started crying.
Oh, okay. I didn't expect him to start crying. I thought he'd just be super happy. But that's a good fake out by the aunt.
He was holding in all his emotions of getting this keychain that he was hyped up for. And I think once he immediately saw it, he's like, that's the real deal. That's when he just broke down in tears. He couldn't take any more.
See, now it's even better because now you have the Furby and you got the keychain.
Win-win.
Yeah, right.
You got the doll and the merch. Or
imagine the aunt was like, yeah, so I'm gonna need the keychain back. that was for my keys.
I don't know why the aunt would have the Furby's keychain.
That was all just a setup, but I really do need those back.
Oh,
it's like all my keys are loose in the purse right now. I really need those back, man. You can keep the Furby. I just need the keychain back.
But imagine if things went south and the kid's like, you know what? I like this keychain. You can take the Furby.
She's like, oh man, I didn't plan that happening. But I think at least it's not as bad as like somebody getting like socks or I don't know. Like as a kid, what's the worst gift you could have gotten? I think like socks is probably up there.
That's true. But I mean, imagine someone hypes you up so much of like, oh, I'm going to get you a puppy. I'm going to get you, I don't know, anything like that. Oh, I have to go upstairs and feed your present. Which, by the way, I did read a story like this. If I could find it, I'll share it on here.
I was just going to say, like, were you reading my, like, old, like, notes from the time I got my robotic cat? Like, that's pretty much the lead up to it.
But, like, imagine, like, they're faking you out, or you're going to get this, let's say, like, it's a PS5. Like, you're going to be able to game on this system or, do whatever. Next thing you know, it's a board game. Like, I don't know, something everyone has, like Monopoly. Oh, there you go. I mean, like, it's not the worst gift, but, like, you'd just be so disappointed because you're, like, expecting something like... Yeah. Expectations are so high, and you kind of just get screwed.
Did you ever have, like, I don't know if you're, like what the aunt did here. Did you ever have your parents try to do, like, a misdirection of trying to like you've been asking for one thing again and again and again, and then they kind of trick you into thinking that they didn't get it, but then they actually did get it. Because I know it's happened to me, so I was going to see if it happened to you.
They have tried it, but it never ended up working out. I felt like, I don't know. I feel like my mom had like a tell of like almost smiling whenever she was doing something like that. So it was fairly easy to tell when like, oh, you're not getting me that GameCube, really? And then she smiles. She's like, nope, I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah, so, I think that's definitely a lot easier to figure out for me. So I think it was either late middle school, early high school.
Yeah,
it was when the iPod Touch, the one with the touchscreen, had just come out.
Yep.
And I really wanted one. So at that time, I kept telling my parents, but not like in a rude way. I was just like, every time we would go to the mall, I'd be like, "Oh, can we go to the Apple Store? I just want to see it. I don't want it. I just want to see it." And then it kept happening for a few weeks. I'm pretty sure I did tell them like, "Yeah, that's what I want for Christmas." Yeah. And then every time we would go to the mall, I'd be like, "I just want to see it. I'm not even asking you for it. I just want to see it. Let me like just hang out around it for a few minutes and like use it for a few minutes at like the Genius Bar or whatever."
Yeah.
And yeah, we kept doing that. And then I remember one time we were driving home from the mall, and it was like maybe a day before Christmas, like literally Christmas Eve or whatever. And that day when I asked my parents, "Can we go see it?" My parents were like, "No, we got to go home." And I'm like, "Just give me 5 minutes." They're like, "No, we got to go home." And I'm like, "Why?" So I remember the whole time, like on the way home in the car, I'm like begging them. Like, I just asked for 5 minutes. I just wanted to see it for 5 minutes. It's okay if you don't buy it for me. And I think at that time, I don't know if it was just like me subconsciously being like a genius of breaking my parents down. But then basically at that point, my mom's like, "Just wait till we get home. I got to tell you something." And then we got home and she's literally like, "Yeah, we got you the iPod Touch. Here it is."
Wow.
She's like, stop begging us to see it now for every 5 minutes. Just here it is. Take it.
That's it. You broke them down. Persistence is key.
Yeah. Like they tried to misdirect me saying like, "No, we didn't get you it. We got you something else. You're going to love your present regardless. It's not the iPod Touch, blah, blah, blah." I think I kind of just wore them down and broke them down to the point where they're just like, "You know what? Just take it here."
So it was still a surprise for you though.
Yeah, no, it was still definitely a surprise because again, leading up to that point, they had pretty much like given me a clue that I was not getting an iPod Touch, like I was getting something else. Like, and I think they had even mentioned a couple times like, "Oh, the iPod Touch is like it's too expensive," or it's like it's not that great. We'll get you a different like music player or whatever. And I think they were even doing like they did a pretty good job actually because they were showing me pictures of like other music players and things like that. Like they were trying to like throw me off the scent.
Yeah.
But I think eventually I just wore them down to the point where they're like, "You know what? Screw it. Tomorrow's Christmas. Give it to them early.
Just leave us alone. Here you go."
Yeah. And then when I actually got the actual iPod, I'm like, "Oh, this is fantastic." I was like super hyped and excited. Yep. And then of course I used it like almost every day. Up until the point where I still have it. I still use it sometimes. The only problem now is it has like those very old iPod chargers.
Yeah.
Like the really wide ones, if you remember the rectangular looking ones. And only works if it's plugged in.
Yeah.
If you unplug it, it immediately dies. Regardless of how long you've charged it, it immediately dies.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. When I got my first iPhone, it was the same exact thing, that wide charger. And I still have that iPhone, but the only way I could use it is if it's plugged in.
I don't know about you, but being an immigrant child.
Yeah.
First couple of Christmases, my parents were not super like aware of like the customs and things like that. Like I remember I tell my parents like at that age when I was like 5 or 6, like, "Oh, Santa's going to come and we got to put out like stuff
milk
for Santa."
And cookies.
Yeah, like milk and cookies or whatever. And my parents are like, "No, we're not doing milk and cookies. Like, that's no point of doing that."
Yeah, so no fat man like, coming down the chimney, yo.
No, I think my parents were literally like, "You know what? Everyone gives him milk and cookies. Let's give him an apple. That's more healthy." So I remember
watch it. Wait,
we put like an apple next to like my note of stuff that I wanted.
Yeah.
And so I will say, if you remember, this is the year you got your Game Boy Color.
No, Game Boy Color was ages.
Or Game Boy SP or something. I don't remember which one it was.
Okay.
And this story leads up into how I got my Game Boy Advance.
No, I got my Game Boy Advance after you. I think I got the GameCube that year.
Maybe. Yeah. So I got my game. This is the story of how I got my Game Boy Advance. So
Yeah.
I had made a list of stuff I wanted, and my parents knew I wanted that. But the main thing I wanted to see was I was at the middle age of believing in Santa, but also questioning the reality of like, how is it possible that he's doing all this?
This guy, how he do it?
So we put the apple out, and then I'm like, there's no Santa. He's not gonna come and eat this stupid apple. And then in the morning, I wake up and I look at the apple. It looks pristine, like nothing has been even touched. And then I lift it up, and there's like a tiny little bite taken out at the bottom. And what eventually ended up happening is like I kept questioning my parents about it, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, we're gonna tell you, there's no Santa. Like it's us. We're the ones who got this for you.
We took the tiny bite."
Yeah. But the funny thing that I look back on it now is that after all these years, the one thing that made me realize is that even my dad didn't want an apple. like Santa doesn't want an apple. He wants milk and cookies. Even my dad did not want that apple. And that's why he took such a tiny bite. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to get this over with, take this tiny bite and get out of here. There's no point of taking a really big bite of this apple. I do not want this right now at like 1 a.m. in the morning. I just want to take a tiny bite, put the gift, like hide the gift in the house and get out of here. Go back to bed.
Wow. Man, so many great stories from childhood of Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, I think my parents only kept up the charade for like 2 years. I moved to the U.S. They did it for 2 years, and then they were like, "Nah, it's us. Like I don't care what it's us. There's no Santa."
Surprise.
And I think like I was one of probably like out of all of our friends or all of our classmates, I was probably one of the first kids to find out about the whole Santa doesn't exist thing, because my parents just gave up. My parents were just like, "Yeah, there's no Santa. Here it is. Here's your gift. We got it for you." It was just because they had so many other things to worry about. Like immigrant parents don't care about this like stuff about you know Santa and all these like stupid things like Halloween, trick or treating. Nah, they don't care. They're just like, just go and get your candy and come home. Like they don't care about all the supposed ways you're supposed to do things or like the norms or whatever.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Pretty much same thing with me. I mean, I actually wouldn't say same thing with me. I feel like Christmas went on for a couple of years. But aside from Christmas, we didn't really do much with other holidays in terms of any decorating or things like that. But yeah.
It probably also didn't help that I'm pretty sure that after I found out that Santa doesn't exist, the first thing I did was tell you. So probably ruined it for you also.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
I'm
dude.
trying to make sure my kid doesn't talk to anyone else. No one else.
Keep them locked away in their bedroom.
Yep. Take him out Christmas morning. That's it.
Put him back in there. Homeschooling. You're not meeting any other kids.
Yep. All right. So I got one more story to kind of wrap up our podcast. This one's gets a bit longer, a bit more involved. And I'm going to have you be the judge of how you feel about this.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm ready.
So I'm reading this in the perspective of the person who has gone through this. So he said, I've been with my girlfriend for like 2-3 years now. Her family considers me a part of their family. But my girlfriend's mom and aunt are probably the most hypocritical and bat. Did we come up with a substitute for the S word?
No, bat spoon crazy.
Yeah, let's go with spoon.
Yeah, we're gonna need like a word doc of every like acronym we've come up with.
Oh, for sure. Well, we'll figure it out. We have fork, buddy, and spoon at this point.
Yes.
Okay, so my girlfriend's mom and aunt are probably the most hypocritical and bat spoon insane people you could ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
So aunt believes that if you use a GPS, you are a buddy that does not deserve to live in the state.
Oh man, okay.
She proceeded to get everyone lost when she was driving us around on vacation. She has lived in Florida for 27 years at this point. Girlfriend's mom is a manipulative narcissist.
Okay.
That actually said to my girlfriend and a mutual friend of ours that the only reason she has my girlfriend around is because the person that she uses to let her anger out on. This guy doesn't even finish it. Oh, okay. Apparently, he just finishes it there. He doesn't even continue. But I guess she's around because she wants somewhere to let her anger out on.
Okay.
So for Christmas, Again, this is just backstory on the characters.
Yeah.
Some character development going on there. For Christmas, I went over to my girlfriend's home to celebrate with them before celebrating with my girlfriend at my house. Got a present from the aunt. Again, this is the anti-GPS lady.
Yep.
So he said, I received a single rubber duck.
What?
That had the bottom torn out.
What?
Inside it was a note. Do you know what the note said?
There are 2 other ducks. Find them.
No. It said, if you are reading this, you killed the birdie. And
What?
a painted... So that's one thing he got. And he got a painted rock that was just painted black with the word best buds on it.
What?
He got a rubber duck that did not have a bottom and a note that says, if you're reading this, you killed the birdie.
What?
And he got a painted rock that says best buds.
So now is he best friends with her aunt?
I don't know. But like, imagine gifting someone a rock. Best buds. What? What is this?
Okay. I'm assuming there's more to the story.
Oh,
Or is
yeah.
that
Oh,
just-
yeah.
Okay.
So that's just the aunt. We have the mom left.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So he said the mom was the worst one.
Worse than this?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
So he said, I got a nutcracker. I didn't fully understand it at the time. But when I finally got it when my girlfriend's dad took me aside and in a hushed tone he said, I'm sorry for the gift.
What?
But Trey, and I think Trey is the wife, the girlfriend's mom,
Oh, okay.
says, I'm sorry for the gift. But Trey has given that to all her daughter's boyfriends as a threat.
Oh, okay.
So that's right. So he got a broken rubber duck, and he was blamed for killing it. He got a painted rock that says best buds, and pretty much a threat that if he did anything to hurt his girlfriend, then the mom will use the nutcracker on him.
Yeah. What? So, before you wrap up,
Yeah.
there's a lot to process here.
Yeah. Go for it.
So, my first question would be, does the girlfriend know that her boyfriend feels this way about her family?
I don't know. That's a good question. I have no backstory on that.
Like, or is this just his first experience with them, and he's like, "Yo, I got to break up with her. Her family's crazy." Or
I don't know.
Does she also agree? Like, yeah, my family's crazy. Just put up with them for these 2 days, and we'll move on.
Well, I have nothing else in terms of details for this story. But from reading it, it looks like, for example, I was telling you earlier on that the stepmom, right? This was the girlfriend's mom.
But she takes her anger out on the girl.
Exactly. So I would think the girlfriend does not like it because obviously, she takes her anger out on her. So I would think they're fine together. The girlfriend and boyfriend are fine together. It's just they don't like the mom.
That's so confusing by the mom though, because first she takes her anger out on the daughter.
Yeah.
But then she threatens the daughter's boyfriends, like, if you hurt my daughter, I'm gonna hurt you.
I know, but it's almost like a I don't know. It's almost like a sibling relationship, which I guess you can't really relate to. But it's like
only child problems.
But it's like like if you make fun of your own siblings, that's fine. But if someone else does it, that's a problem.
I guess.
So it's kind of like that, except I still don't think the mom should be like, letting her anger out on her daughter.
Yeah.
But I also understand from the perspective of, if you do anything to her, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to nut bust you.
Well, she didn't say I'm going to kill you. She's just,
I'm going to crack your nuts. I'm
just going to use this nutcracker for a different type of nut.
Pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, I think the aunt is, the true hero here. I think those were probably the coolest gifts.
What?
I think I'm going to definitely give someone a single rubber duck with the bottom torn out. If you're reading this, you killed the birdie. And then also best buds painted on a rock.
Unless you're giving this gift to an enemy or somebody you hate, I do not recommend.
It says best buds.
No. I do not recommend giving this gift. That best buds will become best blood soon, because that will be coming towards your head as soon as they see it. if you're still shopping for Christmas gifts, essentially today you found out what not to buy in terms of these 3 Reddit stories. Probably even from our stories, because like if you're buying somebody an iPod Touch in this day and age, that's not a good gift. So
yeah,
just instead of being an episode where we talked about good gifts to give, I think you just learned what not to give.
Oh yeah.
I think you're just better off, going with either cash, or if you really know the person, try to find like a decent personalized gift. But
Santa got me cash this year.
Honestly, I'm sure most kids would love it these days. Like, yo, what did Santa get you for this year? It's like, oh, I got a doll, or I got this. What did you get? I got cold, hard cash.
Yeah, his elves hooked me up. He printed some warm cash.
It's just like it's all singles. I'm gonna make it rain. Santa got me cash. I'm gonna make it rain. I'm gonna go to like, I don't know, what's a popular toy store these days? Amazon. People go on Amazon to buy toys. I want to go on Amazon, and I'm just gonna make it rain over all my favorite toys.
That is it for today's podcast. So thanks again for joining us. Whether you're a top 5 wannabe, Kevin and Company, or a hot camel commodity, or just looking for advice on what not to gift, we got you covered with this podcast. This has been Sometime, Someday, with some news. See you soon.